Hello and welcome to Ardvreck Castle. Behind me here, it's very windy here at the Loch Assynt, so I'll be doing voiceovers later on to keep you abreast of this castle and tell you its history. The castle dates back to about 1490 when the lands were owned by the MacLeods of Assynt, and it only really entered the history books once, in circumstances that were, well, the opposite of Highland hospitality. On the 27th of April 1650, the Marquis of Montrose, or Marquis of Montrose, however you say it, he was fighting for the Royalist cause even after the execution of Charles I, and they lost the Battle of Carbisdale to a much smaller Covenanter army. And his flight brought him 2 days later to Ardvreck Castle, where he sought sanctuary with Neil MacLeod of Assynt. But when they arrived at Ardvreck Castle, Neil was away. His wife Christine was the only one in. She tricked Montrose down into the dungeon and called for the government troops. Montrose was subsequently taken to Edinburgh, where he was executed on the 21st of May 1650, and this stands as a notorious betrayal of Highland hospitality. I bet she didn't even offer him a cup of tea. In 1726, Kenneth Mackenzie II of Assynt commissioned Calderhouse for his wife Frances, who did not care for the austerity of Ardvreck Castle. It was a striking modern mansion, and it was the first house of symmetrical design in the Northwest Highlands, and its M-gabled double pile influenced later Mackenzie Laird's houses in Wester Ross. The family's growing debts, incurred through supporting the Royalist cause, meant that the house was a luxury that Mackenzies could ill afford. After only 10 years, Kenneth's weakness and Frances's extravagance brought financial ruin. The Earl of Sutherland vied with Mackenzie of Seaforth to purchase Assynt and won. However, as a result of their lifelong enmity, on 12th May 1737, the house was looted and burned by Mackenzie's supporters, who vowed, "No Sutherland should ever live here." 50 years later, 6 men earned 1 shilling and 6 pence each for carrying stones from the ruined house by boat to build the first parochial schoolhouse at Kirkton. When the famous Bran Seer saw Calderhouse being built, he prophesied, "The day would come when the trees would grow up from the roof, and when they reached the height of the chimney, there would be bloodshed in Assynt." Thankfully, this dire prophecy can never be fulfilled. The chimneys have fallen, and the trees that grew from the gable have gone. Throughout its life, Ardvreck Castle was scene of much violence, with murders, executions and sieges by both traditional enemies and quarrelsome branches of the MacLeod family. In 1672, a 14-day siege by the Mackenzies of Wester Ross marked the end of MacLeod's ownership of Assynt. But nature carried out the final act of violence on the castle, as in 1795 it was struck by lightning and largely destroyed. Many ghosts are said to haunt Ardvreck. The weeping daughter of MacLeod's chief, who drowned in Loch Assynt after marrying the devil in a pact to save her father's castle, has been seen on the beach. There's a tall man in grey, often seen in the ruins, but he seems to be an altogether happier ghost.